Good afternoon, everybody. What's going on? I hope you guys are doing well, having a good day so far. Welcome to the Verified AMA. I'm your host, Lawton Ho, here with Verified Investing, and I go live every single day that the markets are open from 12:30 to 1:15 to answer your questions, guys. So I hope you guys are having a great day. The markets are kind of chilling, waiting for these MU earnings after the bell, as well as Jerome Powell's comments. Um, but I just want to thank you all for being here. If you're enjoying this type of content, please consider liking and subscribing on YouTube, on Verified Investing's YouTube. It really helps a lot. It helps us know that you like this content. It helps YouTube know you like this content. And it would be great for us. If you want to throw your question in, you can scan this QR code or visit the verifiedinvesting.com website. Those are the two places that you can exclusively ask your questions. With that being said, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Let's hop into these questions. Let me see what you got here. All right. GB Slice says Amazon breaking down 1 year support line at 190. Agree? Let's take a look. Let's take a look at Amazon breaking down a little bit, right? Have this kind of upsloping trend line that it's kind of breaking down. You're seeing support around 190. How did you get that 190 level? Chart support line at 190. I mean, there is a lot of support here, right? Yes, you're right. A lot of kind of this is the line in the sand, I guess. Right around 190, but you're also going to have a gap fill slightly above there, I would say, at this 193 level. Let me go ahead and clean this up a little bit for you guys. So I'll give you my levels of support on Amazon. So first off, you have a gap fill around $200, and then again, another one right here around 193, an additional support, as you were saying, around the $190 level, right? All around there. Let's see what else we got here. Christopher says, hi, Lon, can you recommend a brokerage that you guys use? Was told today that Fidelity, I can no longer trade ETFs or ETVs on margin. I can only trade those on a cash account. They had a change in their system because they partnered with someone who says they're no longer allowed. Absolutely. So I can tell you what we use here around the office. I personally use one called Thinkorswim. Gareth uses one called IBKR or Interactive Brokers. Ben uses one called also he uses Interactive Brokers. We've used TradeStation in the past. We've used TradeStation, but there's a lot of brokerages out there. And the most important thing that I would say is that, like, do your own research, right? It's important to make sure that you find a brokerage that best aligns with your goals, right? So. Peggy says, Lon, good to see you. Do you think there's an upside trend for APLD in the near term or long-term futures? If yes, there are any resistance levels. Let's take a look. AppLovin, APLD. Let's take a look. So app 11 is starting to come down here, right? But I think there's an upside trend, not particularly. It depends, right? You could see an up move and some sideways consolidation, making almost a bull flag. My level of resistance, as denoted on my chart, is this high pivot around $27, right? Around this $27 level should be a good level of potential resistance on APLD. Mike says, Howard Cat QQQ SOXX for swing shorts. Let's take a look at Cat. First, Caterpillar. Caterpillar could be, putting an amazing topping tail, right? Meaning that this could be a great opportunity to potential short it. If it were to close here or a topping tail, yeah, I'd be interested in shorting Caterpillar for a swing. You just got to make sure that you understand what you're looking for as turn of profits and your risk, right? Risk and reward, right? Let's say you want to target this gap fill down here. That's about a 17% move. That's a pretty decent move, right, in your favor. Then how much you want to risk? Where is your stop out going to be? Or where are you going to add, right? And what you could do if you're targeting this gap fill about 17% lower, you could choose to add above $500, basically a piece of that psychological $500 level. As for the Qs are at all-time highs, right? But they've continuously been at all-time highs. So is it a decent time to short? Sure, right? You could argue that. I mean, you could say that there's a nice upsloping trend line here on the Qs that it's run into and starting to pull back from, trying to break back down below. So you could say that, yeah, this could be a good opportunity to short it. However, here's the thing. What are you looking for, right? And why are you shorting it? Are you shorting it because it's at all-time highs? If you're shorting it because it's all at all-time highs, it's been on all-time highs for like a year, for over a year, right? And while you did get pullbacks eventually, particularly Liberation Day, right? And then this pullback here in August 2024, you just have to know that it could continue going against you. And the final one is SOXX. This is something that I'm currently short, right? I'm currently short this via SOXS, and I think it's a good short as well. You just have to realize that it's can be volatile and can continue higher. It could continue higher, but I think it favors a pullback. But if you want to be extra careful, you could wait for MU earnings, right? Micron has earnings after the bell today, and it has a decent size portion of the SOXX. So maybe wait a day before entering this in case MU continues higher, right? It says waiting on stocks. I want to clarify a little bit. What clarification would you like, Vincent? I'd be happy to help. Happy to explain. Yeah, I think XOXS is at a good level to buy, right? I thought it was a good level at $6. I thought it was a good level at $7, but I'm currently long SOXS, and I think it favors a move to the upside. I think you easily get a couple dollars off of this, right? Conviction is extremely strong in this, and it's not just me. It's all of us here at the office. I'd be happy to help. Like you asking for clarification. What type of clarification are you looking for? Right? Be happy to answer it. Jose said, good morning. Good morning. V says, good day, Lon. Thanks for thoroughly going over each and every one of our questions. By the way, what kind of Porsche do I have? I have a Porsche Macan 4S. So it's the electric vehicle. It's a new electric vehicle, SUV, just because we got that nice tax credit. I took advantage of that. It's an all-wheel drive, and it's the Sport edition. It's not the turbo, but it's still pretty darn fast. But it's an SUV. It's brand new. Michael says, hi, Lon, on Mint. Absolutely. MNT, is this Mint? MNT, whatever it is. I have some trend lines to add to my swing short. Can you please take a look? Thanks. Absolutely. Let me take a look. Yeah, I like that potential add level for MNT. Um, so you're saying approximately somewhere through this one, right? I think I like that. Those trend lines are pretty decent. I like this one as well for a pullback. I like this one previously for a pullback, and you see that it was resistance before, right? Kind of broke above, could not close above, could not close above, and continue to fall from there, about 20% off of that key trend line. It's breaking it now, right? It's breaking this upsloping trend line, but I like your trend lines there, Michael. V says, "What are your thoughts on CLSK? Clean is this Clean Spark? Yeah, Clean Spark and Mara. Where to sell and buy? Heard CLSK is okay. Let's take a look. To buy, well, yeah, they are. They're partnering Bitcoin backed financing from Coinbase Prime. Okay, it's bullish news, but look at this, right? Originally, we opened up about 7% higher and even increased to about 10% higher. But look at this beautiful sell from beginning of the day, 7% down from that high. I probably wouldn't touch this, to be honest. I know you want to get into there, right? I know you want to get into there. I know you're excited because you hear that Clean Spark is partnering with Coinbase, right? But I'm not the type of person that buys or sells off of news. Hard for me to do that. Hard for me to use emotion when trading. For me, an entry on Clean Spark is down here. Or you can enter anytime. Let's say you enter here, or even enter on the gap fill. That's fine as long as you play with the stop. What's your upside target? Let's say your upside target is up here. You're looking for 15% higher. Then you got to put a stop out somewhere around here, around below $13, right? So you can maintain a decent risk to reward ratio there. Amara. So this is something, I guess I wrote this a long time ago, these charts. Mara, there's not really any news on this. This is generally going to move with Bitcoin, and with Bitcoin being flat to negative today, you can see Mara is about flat today. For me, on this Bitcoin miner, I might not be happy with my entry. Might be too far away from you, but 1522 is my entry along on Mara. I'm not touching it a little higher, unfortunately. Particularly because Bitcoin miners will move based on the price of, unsurprisingly, Bitcoin. And with Bitcoin breaking this nice upsloping trend line, I expect further downside. Scott says, thoughts on PSEC and PCCYF PetroChina. I'll take a look at these. I'll be honest, I've never traded these before. It's a smaller company, but I'd be happy to take a look at it. But full disclosure, yeah, I've never touched this before. Let's take a look here. Let's see here. Dice down some trend line there. Let's see if you have any support. We're at 263, so pretty far down on the charts. This is all-time lows on this. For me, I just wait for a potential break of this down-sloping trend line. This looks like it's something that doesn't move a whole lot, isn't too volatile, right? So I guess it's an investment trust or a mutual fund. It is at the lows of the chart, so if you really like it, you can consider buying in. So you bought in here. Let's see where you'd put your target. Let's say you put your target here around 310, 18%. You're looking for 18% gain. And where's your stop out level? Probably around 245. So you're risking just under 7% to potentially make 18%. But yeah, not something I would touch. Like, I don't love the pattern that much. PetroChina, I don't really have anything on this chart. It's over the counter. This is like oil, right? Unfortunately, I don't have too much on this, right? It's hard for me to chart because there's just like no volume, right? 1,000 shares traded over the counter today. Unfortunately, I can't really help you with this. But if there's anything else you'd want, I'd be happy to. Vincent says, I guess that will do. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Vincent, I'm still in it. I'm still in that position, right? You just have to watch out for MU earnings after the bell. MU Micron, their earnings. Let me tell you right now. Yeah, Micron consists of 5% of the SOXX, right? So if Micron has earnings after the bell, it's at all-time highs into earnings. If it has poor earnings, then the SOXX will go very high. If it has poor earnings, SOXX will go up, and the SOXX will come down. It really is. For me on Micron, this is the highest level I anticipate it going, if that 176. Let's take a look really quickly. Let's do a little earnings preview, huh? So how does it generally move off of earnings? Doesn't move a lot. Moves like just under 4 or 5% on earnings. So not the biggest mover unless there's really, really, really significant news. But that's my trend line of resistance on MU. And if MU comes down, then SOXS will go up. Pavlina says, hey, Lon, is there going to be earnings trade today for MU? Don't see any events showing the membership. Wasn't sure if it was there or not. Same for afternoon access to live radio return on Wednesday. There is not earnings traded today, I don't believe. As far as afternoon access for the LDTR on Wednesday, I guess tomorrow, I thought it would. We would have it last week, but we didn't. But maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe ask me tomorrow and I'll be able to have an answer for you to Pavlina. I have to check with my tech team. Jose says EVGO just hit a support level of 473. You mean resistance level, right? You're talking about this level up here, okay? This one here. And I would argue that this 480 was a even larger one, but with an upward trend, I see gap fill of 590. I see 21% updizer confirmed. Thanks a lot. Well, you had this, and it's not an inverse head and shoulders, right? But you had this level of resistance that you're able to push above, break above. You broke above, came back below, now closing above and pushing up higher. If you're targeting gap fill around where? 590. That's not the gap fill. The gap fill is actually up here, around 631. I haven't done this in a while. Sorry to production team, but let's do another teachable moment. So on a green candle, the highs, right? The highs of the green candle are the gap fill, and for a red candle, the close, the bottom right here, is the gap fill. So that is actually not a gap fill there. This is not the gap fill, it's at the top. So the gap fill is even higher, around 631. Now, do I think it gets there? No. I think you're going to run into resistance all throughout here. But my target for this would be around 550, actually. Jose says, what's your thought on Bitcoin mining company? Iris Energy has a huge push. Do you think others will follow? So yeah, so that's why Mara went up today, right? A sympathy trade, it went up, but it's actually come back in. I did talk about Mara a little bit earlier, right? Something similar happening. All these mining companies, it all, that little push and excitement could be temporary, right? With this now on Riot, I would say that you're kind of watching the price of Bitcoin again. That news is bullish for the Bitcoin mining industry as a whole. I would just take a look at some of these key levels and try and use them as levels of resistance moving forward. 5%, 15% higher. These are my levels that I anticipate a potential resistance here on Riot, RIOT. Take a picture, screenshot, whatever you want. But we're probably, if you're in the live day trading room, though, we're probably going to stay on the microphone for MU earnings today, just because, even though we don't have earnings trader. Carlos says, what are your thoughts on a long on WLFI here? WLFI? CG. Yeah, I don't have too much on World Liberty Financial. This is the Trump coin, right? And this is a super rug pull, right? Decent rug pull. Where you can check on the USDT chart, went up all this way, then it's come down. Is breaking some upsloping trend lines. Hard for me to pinpoint a buy level. For me, I guess if you're like, it's really risky though, right? Around 16 cents would be a potential entry for a long. You just have to be careful, right? It's Trump linked coin, and there's a retail card, a debit card. I don't know. Like I never trust any of those things. I think you can do, potential long down there, right? And here's the thing: you can go long, or you can go short, whatever you want, as long as you play with the stop, right? Doesn't matter. If you just have a feeling that, oh, this is gonna do this, then fine, get in. Just put a stop in, right? You're welcome, Vincent. Thanks for being here. I know it's tough sometimes. I know it's scary, right? But I got you. We got you. Michael says, hey, Lawton, if we all learn from the Winning Trader series, then what is the difference which makes people like you and Ben an expert and not people like me? Well, that's the great thing, right? I'm not saying that I'm an expert, and I never claim to know everything. Right, I'm not a perfect trader, and I'm wrong all the time. I say it every single day. I'm wrong all the time. I've probably been wrong today already. Right, all I can do is read the charts and tell you what I think about them and what I believe probabilities dictate. Right, I've had great trades, and I've had bad trades. Right, on both sides, but that's just part of being a trader. Right. And listen, Michael, if you want to, give your creative service and give out trades based on the things you've learned, feel free, right? I don't know, how good of a trader you are, how bad of a trader you are, right? But it's not a competition. It's not like, oh, Ben and I'm in this seat and you're in that seat, right? So that automatically makes me better than you. I actually don't think that that's the way that I consider things, anyways, right? In my mind, it's like we're part of a collective team, and yeah, I'm the one answering questions, and yeah, I'm the one reading questions, and you're the one asking questions. But I learn just as much every single day from all of our members of our community that share their ideas, as I'm sure people learn from me, right? So I don't think it's I'm better than you, you're better than me. I think we're part of the same team, right? Ultimately, we're sharing trade ideas, we're working together, we're in the same trades, right? Because if you're in our services, you're in our trades, and I'm in some of those trades too, and I'm in the trades that I give. And my specialty might be different from Ben's, right? And your specialty, you might be really great at looking at like Alibaba or the Chinese stocks, or you know what I mean, or specific smaller cap cryptos, right? That I might not be better than. So I never claim to be like better than anyone else. I just do my best to share my outlooks, insights on the markets, share the probabilities that I believe I can see via TA, and do my best to help where I can, right? And if you're a part of this community, if you want to contribute, I'm happy to have you, happy to discuss with you and meet with you, and love that you're here. And if you're not interested, that's cool too. You know what I mean? And that's the awesome thing about services like these. It's totally free, right? Completely free. Right. So, but yeah, my most of my knowledge base is based on the Winning Trader series, but I also have methodology of my own that I've kind of tweaked and altered over time, right? In a specific way that I like to trade. Right? I'm a little more risk adverse. I'm a little more conservative than potentially some of the other traders who might be a little more aggressive. So their wins might be a little larger, and mine might be a little smaller, but in different ways it kind of evens out, right? So I hope that makes sense. But thank you for your question, and thanks for being here. Jose says, hello, I've been looking at ARK investments. Let's take a look at ARKK. And I seen that it just pushed through a key resistance level of $84. Okay. What are your thoughts on more possible upside? Sorry for all the questions. I really value your knowledge and appreciate you doing this for your community. Yeah, Jose, thanks for your questions. I don't mind at all. I never apologize for asking too many questions. If it is too much, I just want to answer them, which is fine. But I'd rather have questions than not, right? I'd rather have more people asking questions, right, than nobody asking questions, because then it's just me in front of a camera and it's awkward and we're just looking at each other. And I'm trying to find things to talk about, but anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at ARK investing. So yeah, ARK down significantly. This is Kathy Woods, right? I'm about 47%. It's an ETF, right? So it's kind of difficult to chart. However, you're asking me if there's more possible upside. It just depends if you believe in ARK. Let's take a look at what they're holding. It's an ETF managed by Kathy Wood, though. So she's not been performing well the past couple years, but let's see what she's holding. So that's the most important thing. Whenever you're looking at these mutual funds, whether it's Berkshire Hathaway or ARKK, you want to look at the different holdings of it. And I can just go through it for you. I just Googled it quickly, but ARKK, 12% of it is in Tesla, 6% in Coinbase, 6% in Roku, 5.5% in Roblox, 5% in Tempest AI. Well, it doesn't actually have too much. Tesla, Coinbase, Roku, Roblox, Tempest AI, CRISPR Therapeutics, Shopify, Robinhood, Palantir, AMD. So it's not that many things. So I know it's tempting to kind of chart the ETF and be like, oh, look, it's broken this key resistance level. But the truth is this ETF moves based off of the performance of those individual stocks. So while you could look at this and be like, oh, whatever, it's hitting this key resistance, it's running to this gap fill. It's better if you look at those specific holdings, right? Like Tesla is 12%. So if you're bullish in ARKK, you have to make sure you're bullish on Tesla, right? Basically. And I anticipate Tesla to see a pullback. I had a resistance level here at 440, which is pulling back nicely from, and then again at 454. But whenever you're looking at these mutual funds, it's always important to take a look at that. See what's going on inside. Carlos says, thank you. You're welcome. Lena says, can you look at MTPLF and a planet? Okay. Daily. Absolutely. So this is a stock, a lot of gaps on this chart. I don't love it, right? It's over the counter. I don't really trade things over the counter just because there's not as much price data. But I'd be happy to chart this for you. I have this nice down sloping trend line. If you can get above it, I could conceivably see myself going long. And as always with trend lines, I can either enter on a break of this down sloping trend line or a retrace back down to this down sloping trend line and look for a move higher. As far as SMLR is concerned, this is in the NASDAQ, but it's a very small company, like sub $500 million. So I'd be very, very careful, with when trading this, because look at this price swings, up 23% for no apparent reason. For me, it did break, potentially break this nice downtrend that it was having, right? Couple down sloping trend lines definitely broke to the upside. You just got to be careful on a retrace. For me, if I absolutely had a gun to my head and had to trade it, I'd go long here, and I'd look for like 20%, and I'd probably stop out after like 7% loss. Let's see what else we got. All right. Andreas says, hi, Lon. Please try to chart BETR. Long term beaten down but up lately. Dude, I can't chart this. Oh, wow. Let's see why. Is it good earnings, I guess? Crazy. Better home and finance. Yeah, up off of really good earnings, I guess. But they didn't have earnings. They had earnings all the way in August 7th. Yeah, there's just no news. I think it's just like kind of a meme stock that's running, right? I don't think there's a reason why. Let's see why. Yeah, honestly, I don't see a reason why this thing is up so much. You asking me to please chart this? I can't. Sorry, I can't chart this. I can't chart this. This thing is kind of insane to chart. Very, very scary. Very, 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 very scary. But yeah, very scary. Bevlina says, thank you, Lawton, for being here for us every day. I can only say that each and every course membership and service has been absolutely worth it. It is an honor to be able to learn from all you guys at Verified Investing. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for the kind words, Pavlina. And that's what it's about, right? There's no point. Yeah, it's nice to make money, right? That's what we're all here for. We all just want to be profitable, right? And I know it's scary because you're investing your hard-earned money. This is money that you work like if hours and hours and hours and days and weeks and potentially months of your life that you're risking on the markets. And that's scary, so I get it. So no need to apologize. Or no need to But the point is we want to teach you, and this is my goal, so that not only do you get have more knowledge but that you can, and not only so you can become profitable, but that you can start contributing to me and all of us here, right? Again, it's like it's an ecosystem. It's not like in my mind, it's not a one way like I'm God, and what I say is the only way forward, and what I say counts, and nothing else counts, right? That's not the way I want to do things. It's important that you guys get better. Hopefully, you can get better than me, better than us, so we can share ideas and we can bounce things off each other and learn from each other, right? That's the goal here. But thanks so much for the kind words, Pavlina. D D-Rod says, "Hey Lon, appreciate your help every day, sir. What is the relationship in terms of charts between miners and the metals they mine?" That's a great question. Let's take a look at gold. Right, gold is up. Right, gold is up. Always pushing higher. And let's take a look at GDX. Right, gold miners. So if you take a look at these, the charts are almost identical. Right, I'm continuing to switch between them. Right, gold, GDX, almost identical, right? The only difference is when you're trading the miners, right? Because you can't just trade gold unless you trade either a gold ETF or like contracts, right? But when you're talking about these miners, for example, NEM, they'll mine gold as well, right? Take a look at NEM and then you compare it to gold. It's kind of similar. The difference is that NEM, like companies like NEM, they have earnings, right? So you could be mining gold, and gold can be at an all-time high. So your projected company is going to go up, 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 up. But if you have poor earnings for whatever reason, like Newmont did here, despite the price of gold, you can fall so much, 36% here. October 2024, let's check out gold, basically a year ago. October 2024, gold was at all-time highs, was literally at all-time highs. Right, was at all-time highs. Newmont had very bad earnings, did not matter, just collapsed. Collapsed anyways. So that's the difference, right? So it's a little more risky, right? Because it's you're buying the company. It's like pseudo. It's like if you like Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin or buy Bitcoin ETF. Don't trade MSTR or MicroStrategy. It's a proxy for it, but it's never as good as the real thing. It's like when you're a kid, right? When I was a kid, there are those VHS tapes, those DVD tapes, like, and there are things in the movies that you wanted to see. I remember I really wanted to see, I think it was like The Mummy, like one of the mummies, right? And I really wanted to go see it in the movie theaters, right? I want to see it in the movie theaters. But somebody came and was like, dude, like they snuck a camera in and recorded the entire thing, and it's on like a DVD or VHS or something. Do you want to watch that? And I was like, I mean, I'll take it and I'll watch it because I really like the movie, right? But the angle's kind of weird. The experience isn't the same as me, either going to the movie theater and watching it in person, right, which would be the actual commodity or whatever you're trading, or buying the official DVD or VHS when it came out. I still bought those because the quality was better. And I just liked it. It was just a better all over experience. So that would be the equivalent to a direct ETF like Biddy, IBIT, instead of trading something like MSTR. So I hope that makes sense there for you, D-Rod. Rishi says, "Hey Lon, on behalf of most of us here, we thank you for being here, sharing your thoughts and opinions to help guide us. Can you come on to the Canadian side?" Yes, of course. And could you let me know if this high-paying dividend is worth investing in? Thanks, brother. First of all, thank you so much for the kind words. Second of all, I'd be happy to. Haven't been to Canada in a hot minute. I've only been in Canada, I think, once, and it was Toronto. So let's check out UMax, Hamilton Utilities. Let's check their dividend. First things first, let's check their dividend payout. They're paying every month. It's a monthly dividend. What? That's crazy. So I guess I mean, this is awesome. You're getting a monthly dividend and you're getting over 1%, right? 16 cents. Yeah, you're getting over 1% every single month. That sounds pretty great. Um, that sounds amazing, right? Looks like price does fall after the dividend always, though, right? It rebounds afterwards, but it falls after the dividend is paid out. But yeah, I mean, I think that could be good, right? Could be breaking this kind of downtrend, kind of breaking up. You want to see it close above and not a retrace, and then you can look for a move at least 20-ish% higher. But even if this goes against you, like your max, it's going to go against you. As this is the Liberation Day lows. I actually quite like this here, Brewski. It looks pretty great. Plus that 1% dividend on the Toronto Stock Exchange. Just know every time that dividend is paid out, it's going to drop. But 16% or 16 cents on a $13 stock sounds pretty sick, to be honest. Jose says NXDR, Next Door Holdings, has fallen considerably since its IPO, and I see that it hit a low of 132 and is having an upward trend lately. What are your thoughts on long-term and short-term holdings? Yeah, let's take a look on this Next Door here. Yeah, it has fallen a lot, right? But look at this run, right? This push up and fall. Yeah, for me, of course you're going to find resistance here around 250. Everyone is taking a look at that pivot high. I expect it to potentially pull back from there if it has not pulled back already. But something I'm starting to see develop, right? So potential head and shoulders. You only have the head right now, but if you can come down and make a shoulder, that's what I'd be playing. That's what I'd be watching. Regardless, you still have, this is what would be essentially the neckline, right? You want to have it doon, right? Potential neckline. You still have a couple great upslopping trend lines. Haven't broken yet, but could be a nice shorting opportunity. Should it get up there, or should it create that head and shoulders pattern? As far as resistance, you have other resistance over here around $2.49. It's all around the same area, right? This gap fill here, this $2.50 level, it's all in the same kind of 1 cent realm, right? Long term, you could argue that this could be a good longer term hold, but the problem is it's up like 72% from its lows, and it's also a small company, about under $1 billion. So I just be careful, hold on, and be careful here on these Next Door holdings. Okay, I just play it easy. I usually err on the side of caution when trading these kind of smaller cap stocks. Okay. All right, guys. With that being said, it's about time. Once again, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me, watching me. My name is Lawton Ho here with Verified Investing. One more HMAX. Brewski, you're killing me. I'm just kidding. I don't mind. I'll do a very, very quick analysis. You're pushing up. You're into this gap fill right now. It looks like it's due for a pullback. Basically right here, which is what it's doing, could be putting in a topping tail. So I'd watch this. If it's putting in a topping tail, then I expect a pullback. But this is not a stock that is very, very volatile. Even this, which looks like a massive move, only 7%. So not a lot to touch, right? If I wanted to buy in, I'd probably wait until we're under $14.50 for buying in. Michael says, sorry, Lawton, English is my second language. Not a problem. I meant something else. Anyways, my question is, like, how do I know that I'm becoming better at trading? Because I want to do this for life. That's an awesome goal, man. That's awesome. That's really that's the goal for all of us, Michael. And this is a job that you can do when you're older too, right? It doesn't matter how young or old you are. There's not a lot of barriers, and it gives you like full control of your finances, right? But an easy way to know if you are becoming better at something is to see how your trades are working out. Start taking your own trades. You can practice in a paper trading account. And, as your portfolio grows, as you see, your trades starting to work out, your trend lines are working, and your support and resistance levels are working, you can mark the top and start getting things. Then you could see that it comes. It's not like a one day I suck and one day, oh my God, I'm like the best. I'm a pro now. No, that's not what happens. It's a gradual progression, right? And it's not linear. It's not straight up, right? There's going to be bumps in the road. But as you continue to work and learn, hopefully you can improve. Thanks for being here, Michael. But anyways, if you like this, please consider liking and subscribing on YouTube. With that being said, that's it for me. If you have any more questions, feel free to send them to me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @Lawton Investing. Just my first name followed by the word investing, all right? Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Best of luck in the trading markets, and everyone's going to be watching MU's earnings microns after the bell. Have a great day. See you later, guys. Bye-bye. Hey guys, Lawton here with Verified Investing, back with another video from Kinesis. Thank you so much to Kinesis for sponsoring this video. So going onto the homepage, you can see that I'm logged in to Kinesis.money, and I want to highlight something I really think is cool. You guys know that I'm a trader, a pro trader here at Verified Investing. And did you know Kinesis gives you another way to trade? That's right. You're able to directly trade on the Kinesis platform and earn physical gold and silver while doing so. You can see here their trading platform and their charting platform is actually integrated with TradingView. That means the same charts that I'm used to using, that Gareth is used to using, that all of us here at Verified Investing are totally accessible for you to use. So this is a seamless transition if you want to chart on here. You can even see the order books and the history. Right. So if I want to put in a trade, I can put in the price in USD or the amount in KAU as one of their pairings. I can set a limit order, stop limit, trailing stop, whatever I want here. And I can do good till cancel or fill or kill or whatever else I need. Additionally, I can see all of my orders down here. Going on the left side, I can see all the different pairings that Kinesis has on their exchange, such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. Really, really cool. So not only is it a platform that lets you earn money and earn physical gold for doing anything. If you're trading cryptocurrency anyways, Kinesis could be an option for you as well. Kinesis is really cool, and there's way too much just to talk about in one video. But if you want to learn more about Kinesis, go ahead and check them out in the link in the description. Thank you so much to Kinesis for sponsoring this video. I'll see you guys next time.